Welcome to the Escalante River Trail. The purpose of this trip is to test out some new gear to take it on a trial run. I finally retired my Osprey Aura 65-liter backpack, which I've had over 5 years. The last trip I took it on, which I did not film here in Escalante area in Death Hollow, it just finally is giving out. And then also my tent needed to be replaced. So I have a new tent and a new backpack. So I'm testing them both out for the first time. I got the ULA Circuit backpack. It felt very different putting it on for the first time, but so far so good. I've gone in on the trail for about a mile now, and it's feeling pretty comfortable. I haven't even set up my tent yet for the first time, so I'll be doing it out in the field, which I wouldn't recommend, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And it should be just a nice overnight trip here along the Escalante River. I'll probably hike about 5 miles in and then turn around and hike 5 miles out, just a short overnight to test out the new gear. Came across some beautiful rock art. The murky waters made it impossible to see boulders below the surface. I needed to tread with care. I'm stoked for this cool weather. I would say it's in the mid-50s with a nice cool breeze. This hike can be brutal if it's sunny and hot. You're slogging through the sand. There's a lot of sun exposure. I've done it when it's been a lot warmer. This is the way that I've come out from Death Hollow. Both times I've done the entire lower Death Hollow. And yeah, it can be brutal if the sun is beating down on you and it's warm. Very thankful for this. Inside this huge overhang are some pictographs. I'm gonna go check those out. Some water came through with some force here. Sweet. This looks good to me. Okay, this is going to be home for the night. I'm probably about 1.5 miles to 2 miles away from the confluence with Mammy Creek, which goes up into Death Hollow. The scenery doesn't change much from here to there, and I hadn't planned on going up Death Hollow anyhow. I've seen a couple groups, large groups of people go by, so I'm a little nervous that there wouldn't be anything available at the confluence. So I thought I'd nab this spot. It's very nice level spots, and make sure I get my tent set up. As I mentioned, I've never set it up before, so just want to make sure I get it dialed in before it gets dark. I have water nearby, and this is a really great spot. Okay, she's all set up. It took a little more time than it would my old tent. However, I could probably set my old tent up with my eyes closed after over 5 years. Both my tent and my new tent and my new pack are lighter than my old tent and old pack. That's why I went with different brands. I wanted to go lighter. I'm not going ultralight. However, I figure when I do need to replace items, if I can go lighter, I might as well. One of the reasons I like this Nemo also is because it has 2 doors and 2 vestibules. My old one had only the front door, and I had to kind of crawl in to get into it. So I like the fact that this has 2 exits and 2 entrances. The new pack, it rode really well. However, the belt buckle is having trouble clamping closed, and I think it's because there's dirt in there. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it off with some water and see if it'll close, but that shouldn't be happening. So we'll have to see how that goes. The water looks like pure mud. I think I'm going to have to boil it as well as filter it, and it's probably gonna wreck my filter. Yuck. It is just about dinner time, so I'm about to rehydrate some Mountain House beef stew. I've had it before, it's very good. The winds have definitely been a challenge this spring. On the last 3 backpacking trips I've done, my tent and my sleeping bag and everything inside, all of the contents are covered in sand. This is definitely not glamping, and being out here, you need to deal with the elements, whatever they may be, and that's just part of it. So I'm not complaining, just part of it. I can wash it off and dust it off, and it's no problem. Just a little sandy in there. Good morning. Yum, coffee. It is a beautiful morning. The winds have not kicked up yet. However, they are going to. It is supposed to get really windy today, like gusts over 40 miles per hour, but it's not supposed to start until noon. So I'm going to make haste, and I've already got camp pretty much packed up. I just need to throw all the rest of my items in the backpack and get on out of here before that happens. I had a really good night's sleep. The gear is working out great for me so far. I think the hip belt thing is just dust inside that's getting in the track and just making it a little bit more difficult, but I'm gonna put some water on it today and hopefully that will solve that problem. It's gonna take a few more trips before I have a more educated opinion as to the gear, but it worked out great for me on this trip. I thought it would be a good idea to test it out on a short trip before taking it out on a long trip and finding out that something is malfunctioning. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my coffee, have a Cliff Bar for breakfast, and hit the trail.